Hey guys, welcome to this episode of Intentionally Blank D&D. I'm your DM Kyle, and I'm joined by the lovely players Dakota, Levi, and Paisley.
Hello.
Hello.
Before we begin, do you guys have any announcements?
I'd like to apologize for missing last week. Um, Levi started his new job at the brothel.
Nice.
Yeah. He's a full-time whore
Yeah.
now, so.
Besides that, I think the only thing,
Kyle, did you change your screen?
uh, the only thing I wanted to announce was that they are working on group movement. I don't know if we announced that last time, but they've been making a lot of progress on it and have been showing it off, but it's not available yet.
They did release a new asset pack.
Yes, new asset pack. I will actually go over and I have that set up in the Ash District.
Most of it's sci-fi stuff, but there's some cool things that we might be able to use for D&D session.
Yeah. I know you guys can't see it, but in the Ash District, I set up all the new minis that they've added, as well as the pack that they got from Hero Forge set up.
Oh yeah,
So,
that one.
a lot of new miniatures. They did some sci-fi stuff that I didn't put on here, but the assets other than the miniatures were mostly the sci-fi stuff.
You also got the other pack.
Yeah.
Nice. Where's the purple worm?
Oh right. My bad. Purple worm. Boop. Yeah, that was also super cool.
Yeah. Then I can't think of anything else.
Okay. Then let's jump into last time on D&D. The favored few had visits at the base from a patron, Elwind, and an old friend, Senna. They sold a necklace Senna had pawned off to them at the Shroud's base. They took some time to help Grief at the Many Sorrows Theater. They did some prep for the play by making backgrounds and started on some dialogue for the actual play. They then visited Catherine at his manor, bearing gifts of cheese and drink. There, the party discussed with Catherine about him hosting this play, and he was more than happy to after hearing the play was about Jorg, the god of light. Catherine then said that he would invite others to attend while showing off some of his manner to the party. During such, they are shown a golden sword matching the description of the item they're hired to steal. They then get permission to come back later with a friend to make a replica of the sword for the play, as it was once held by Jorg. Before leaving, Catherine mentioned that he would need the party's help with some bodyguarding mid next month. The party agreed to do so and took their leave. They finally went to Clutter, an old friend of theirs, to see if he could make the replica swords. He agreed and planned to meet with the party after work to see to actually visually see the sword, as well as giving Blanche an upgraded item that they had worked on before. And with this session, we begin after the party has kind of taken some time during the day waiting on Clatter to be done with work. Asher and Whoville went on a shopping spree, and Blanche paid a visit to Asher's family, Aaron. And I think we'll just jump right back in there with Blanche. It is now just at sunset, as you've been sitting inside of Aaron's shop, Shiftweave. You've kind of been watching them run around the shop for a while. You see a very light-skinned, elven-featured woman with bright pink hair running around doing different things, maybe grabbing a bite to eat on her way by every now and then, going over to the mannequins, taking off the clothes and kind of like trying it on herself, and then putting it back. And then you see them disappear behind a doorway. And then, like, 10 minutes later, you see a similar figure, light-skinned, elven features, bright pink hair, but this time a male elven figure steps out and doesn't really pay you much mind, and continues working, goes to a different mannequin that has like more of a male outfit on it, and again like tries on some things and like takes it into the back to work on it further.
Yeah. Just to confirm, I've seen this kind of stuff here before, right?
Yes. Asher has been fairly open with her changelingness, and you know that their parent is also a changeling.
Mm-hmm. So I don't really bat two eyes at it. Now when he or she, whichever version comes out, if I see them like eye over towards the table, I'll grab like a piece of bread or like an apple or something and toss it over to them.
Okay. And with this one, just kind of looks back and says, "Oh, thank you," and continues on.
But as soon as I see that night is beginning to fall, I thank them for their hospitality. I'll make sure that Asher stops by to see you soon. And I thank them for the food, and I go to take my leave.
Okay. On your way out, I'll say that you run into Whoville and Asher, who have finished up their shopping. You guys would have had time to stop by the base if you wanted to. If not, you could have just come straight here with your stuff.
I'm following Whoville, so if he starts to head that way, I'm like, okay, let's go.
Sure.
Okay. Whoops, wrong ruler. So if you guys want to meet up with Blanche. Blanche, you walk out of the store and you see Whoville and Asher kind of walking along the path.
I give them a wave and head their way.
Okay. And basically I'll pull you.
Thank you. I was watching Deco's stream.
So Whoville and Asher, you guys, on your shopping spree, you picked up some materials for some traps for Whoville, and you also stopped by the den to pick up a vial of poison, which you have tucked away. What are you guys up to now?
Now that night has fallen, I'm going to go head over and grab a ladder.
All right. So you head over to the engine, which, at this point in the day, still seems to, sorry, be active from the outside. You see similar like steam coming from the windows. You can definitely hear from inside work being done.
Do you guys follow?
I won't go with you. I'm talking to Blanche while we're all walking together. It's like you and Clatter, or even if it's just Clatter, you go make the replicas. I will continue setting up for the play.
Okay.
Is this the game engine? Is this right here?
Yep.
This is it?
Yep.
Okay.
As you get here, it's like, could you do me a favor? Can you just send a message to Clatter? Let him know we're here.
Okay.
So we don't have to deal with the whole knocking and waiting.
Yeah, they busy people. I messaged Clatter. I was like, here! Exclamation point.
And a couple seconds later, you hear back in your head, good.
I turn to Blanche. Good.
Good.
Yeah, you guys do wait like a minute or so before you see the heavy door swing open, and out steps the Kenku you guys know as Clatter.
And with that, I ask him if he has everything that he needs.
Yes, I technically could create it there, but I believe we talked about just a viewing, so I have brought all of my sketching tools as well.
Okay, perfect. We don't want them to know about the extra replicas. That's why we're not making it there.
Of course.
Oh.
And then I turn towards Clatter and Whoville. I will get this done, and we will meet back at our
I
storefront.
grab onto his shoulder real quick. I thought you guys were gonna make it there so you could swap them out there. You have a different plan for the swap out of
yeah.
the originals?
Yeah, we're not going to want to swap it out till the night.
Okay. You got a plan? I trust it.
Yeah. We will be under watch there, so I don't think we'll be able to swap it out and then get back being seen.
Okay.
But while everybody's distracted from the play, I feel like that might be the best.
I tap the side of my nose. Eyes on that butler. His eyes will be on you while you're doing it, so make sure you have two plans just in case. Yeah. And with that, I go ahead and head back to the theater.
Okay. So you head back to the theater. Blanche, you're going with Clatter to Catherine's manor.
Catherine's manor.
Whoville, what are you up to?
I'm gonna go back to the house and start installing these traps.
Okay, cool. Awesome. So,
I'm gonna use the restroom real quick.
All right. Asher. While I pull up the district map. Okay, to get to the social district, it'll just be a copper for you. And then Whoville will be 3 copper to get back to the storefront.
Okay.
Which one of you would like to go first?
Whoville, you go first.
Okay.
All right.
Oops, I accidentally added copper. Moving 2.
Whoville. All right. Whoville, you approach the home base well after sunset, as it takes some time to travel. And you approach it. Similar flame going outside to bright the front door, but otherwise seems to be a quiet house.
Okay, I'm gonna go in the house and then check to make sure it's an empty house, like it's supposed to.
Okay,
Then
make
come
a
back out.
perception check.
Hey, I know it's late, but can I squeeze in something real quick?
Sure.
So, while I'm walking away to the theater, I'd like to be like, ah! And then I'm gonna use message again to Whoville as I see him walking towards the house again.
Okay.
I want to say, let the kids know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I don't want them to accidentally walk into a trap and die or something. That would take a very dark turn on our campaign.
That would suck.
That would suck. Okay, but that's it. Still off towards the theater and whatnot.
Okay. So Whoville, you rolled 18 plus
26.
26. Awesome. Yeah, it is a clean house. No watching eyes.
Cool. I'll go back out to the front door and start installing the trap.
Okay.
Door.
Which doors would you be putting it on, since you did say you bought enough for 3?
This one and this one. And is there even another door in the house besides those two?
There's one on the inside, or you could save it for later if one of them breaks, or if while installing it it breaks.
Yeah, I'll just save it.
Okay. Then for each door, I'll have you roll a dexterity check.
Do I add proficiency since I have Tinker's Tools?
Yeah.
Sweet. Oh, 10.
10. The first one does seem a bit shaky. It'll work. But, you know, you feel like you could do better, but it'll work.
Okay. Go over to this one. Do another one.
Okay.
16.
Alright, that one's a lot better. You kind of got the feel for it on the first one, and as you put in the second one, you have the locking mechanism in place fairly tight, so it's like the first one has a bit of a jiggle and might not set off right away. This one is like, yeah, this seems real solid.
Okay. Can I look around and see if I see the kid?
If you look around, go around back of the house, you do see their normal spot with them in their like kind of tent area. The 3 of them.
Alright, I'll let them know about the traps.
Okay. Good to know. Right. Are you doing anything else at the home base?
Nope. Waiting for everyone to get back.
Alright. Awesome. Then I will move over to Asher.
I keep like touching the side of my headphones, thinking that's how I'm gonna unmute and mute myself. That's just how like the ones at my work are.
Oh, Paisley.
So here, I am just waiting for like the opportunity to tell Grief about the dimensions that I took.
Okay. Yeah, because you were measuring out like the actual area.
Yeah, it was pretty rough. It was like with the feet pacings.
Mm-hmm.
Still trying to give him my rough sketch out.
Okay. Yeah, and as you approach, you can see it's a late night show. Kind of like after sunset, the theater likes to put on just a couple more plays, as that's when most people are free is after sunset, and that's kind of like your last minute rush of people. And on stage you see Grief himself putting on a performance, and you kind of see him like go down to his knees and clutch like something on his chest and like exclaims, "Yanit, why?" Very theatrical.
Beautiful. I clap and ooh with the audience.
Yeah, and as the performance ends, he kind of gives a overextended bow as the curtain falls and everyone starts to get up and go off to their various things. Another thing to point out, I think I mentioned this before, but after sunset, the social district becomes more of an adult area where there are no children running about. So just something to note.
Okay.
But as Grief ends his performance, you wanted to catch him, or did you want to talk to him in the changing room?
In the changing room.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't want to like break his flow, so. Yeah, so kind of head that way. And kind of wait for him in there.
Mm-hmm. Inside you see all of the usual suspects, but you see Grief in the back, kind of like taking off makeup and hanging up some of his costume.
Sweet. I'm having issues getting like the buildings to cut. One sec. Grr.
Should be able to double right click on the floor.
Oh, I'm trying it, but it's not working.
You can also drag the...
Oh, wait. It's good.
Okay.
Grief. I have dimensions for our upcoming private showing.
Hello, Asher. That's great.
He has hat off Grief now or something.
Yeah, he's on his kind of like downward or low emotion state.
Being this the case, I instead scribble it on a piece of paper and give it to him so that hopefully he will remember it and not be too distracted by whatever's going on internally right now.
Okay.
I stuff it in his pocket for him. I'm just like, there you go. There they are. Yeah, this will help us get ready for the showing. You let me know if you need any other information. And then I kind of wave myself out.
Always appreciated, Asher.
Yeah. Then I am off to just back to house, actually.
Okay. Yeah, and as he says, like, always appreciated, if you didn't know him, you would have, like, picked up on that being, like, super sarcastic. But, that's him being very genuine, just very low emotion.
It's a state of being, I take no offense. I'm just, like, still give him a happy wave on my way out.
All right.
I'm sure he'll be fine tomorrow.
Cool. All right. So, yeah, you head back to the house after that. And then, Blanche, you are heading over to the Galantic district, so it would be...
Yes. I'm going to pay for me and Ladder.
Okay, so that would be 4 copper total. And then... let me pull you over. Went to the wrong place. So yeah, and if you wanted to talk to Clatter during the walk over, it's a fair walk.
Yeah, while I'm walking with him, I want to talk to him more about like pricing for material and all of that kind of stuff as well.
He says, "Well, I can make a extremely close replica. If you were worried about materials, if you want to go on the cheaper end, I could make it out of a synthetic material. That would cost you, and you can see him doing calculations in his head, roughly 10 gold per replica. If you wanted the real deal, as you've said, it's made out of gold and platinum, I could either completely make it out of gold and platinum, which would up the cost quite a lot, or I could give a coating of gold and platinum and do kind of just a leaf around the outside.
Which one would be more indistinguishable?
They would all be fairly indistinguishable. I could make an exact copy. If I was going to completely make out of gold and platinum, I could get so extremely close with the leaf that only someone with a very, very discerning eye would be able to tell the difference. And with the synthetic, the majority of people would never be able to tell.
I want one of them to be indistinguishable and have only the best of people would ever be able to even have an inkling that it is not the original. The second could be what that's just for the play.
Okay. Terrific. Then I will.
I'm going to leave you to decide which would be the best for that.
Okay. And also, fair warning, these will visually and visually look the same and feel the same. If there are any properties with this item, those will not be transferred over.
Of course, and we'll be able to determine that once you have eyes up, right?
Terrific. Yes.
All right, perfect. And then we just do some like idle chit chat about what he's been working on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he kind of talks to you, since you have a bit of background with him in this, just about his study of time, and kind of just like going through
How that box has or the notes on that box has like spearheaded his research.
He had that first box that he gave you, and that it was just like a rough idea of it, and this new box, he was kind of showing you how it works, and kind of just goes over like it should be much simpler, just push the button and it should work. Very rarely does it ever not work. And just kind of like going through all of like his studies, and that he's not completed, so this is not a finished product yet. It is a lot closer. And keeps going through like he feels like he's on the verge of something terrific, but he can't let anyone know, so his studies have been going a lot slower than average.
Okay. Oh, I'm reading through the new one now. You did add the reaction thing to it.
Mm-hmm.
That's nice. Gives me a little bit of out of combat use for it too.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Alright.
Awesome.
But after the conversation, you guys do approach Catherine's manor, and outside you see the dwarven figure kind of leaning up against the corner, just watching down the road, making sure no one out of the ordinary is coming through. But as he sees you, he kind of nods and seems like you guys were expected.
Mm-hmm. I give him a nod back, and I continue to the door,
Okay.
and I give it a nod.
All right. Couple minutes. And you see opening up the door is Ellis, the head butler. Welcome in, Master Blanche.
Greetings. I have brought our... What do we call him?
Consultant? I don't know.
I have brought our
Specialist.
specialist with us today. Clatter.
And as he steps in, he kind of does like the bird head cock as he like instantly starts like scanning his surroundings. And Ellis just says, terrific. It is good to meet you, Clatter. Please, and motions over to the table. Blanche, we don't like weapons in the house, so if either of you have any weapons of any sort, please put them over here.
I guess I did forget to remove a dagger from my inventory, so I will remove that dagger.
Okay. And you see his Clatter, he had like the gauntlets, correct? Or were those
yes.
built in to
Those
his
are
stuff?
built into his
Okay.
armor.
So yeah, he removes probably like a dagger or two, but he keeps quite a bit on him.
Yeah. Yeah, the lightning launchers are built into its armor.
Yeah. And Ellis just kind of says, yes. And kind of guides you over. And now you see, it's kind of stepping around the corner, a older elven man. And older is a statement for an elvish person because they live much, much longer. Kind of like slicked back white hair, and somewhat dirtied apron on, kind of step around the corner, and is going to just be kind of watching you guys. And Ellis leads you over to the sword and says, here's the sword that you will be looking at today. I hope you don't mind that we have a little bit of extra protection. This is a very important item.
But we will have to remove it.
Of course.
May I?
Be my guest. And they kind of like step back, and at this point they're gonna kind of just like leave you to it, but they're still in the room watching.
Yeah. Then I grab the sword and I remove it from the stand.
Okay. And it pulls out with ease, but it is like perfectly inlaid into this column.
Okay, and I bring it over to the table, place it down, and have Clatter take a look.
Alright, and then I will get the sword.
I was just finding that.
Yeah.
And then I also come over here and confirm with them. We are also making a replica of this helmet.
Yes, we've been told about that.
Then I grab that and bring it over.
Okay. It's gonna be a
It's
little
more
weird.
difficult.
Yeah.
Because it's a suit of armor, but you can lower it to the table.
There we go. And you can see Clutter starts going through his like steps of like he lays out some paper, taking sketches at first, and then goes through more like intricate details after he's made a rough sketch, and then like you can see as he goes through like 3 drafts within quick succession. They look fairly good. You're not, trained in mock-ups and things like that, but to the untrained eye, they look very, very good.
Okay.
Um,
And when Clatter feels satisfied, I'm not going to be doing anything while he's doing all this stuff.
mhm.
I'm just letting him do what he needs to do.
Okay.
When he finishes up with the sword and moves over to the helmet, I take the sword back.
Okay. Yeah, and he eventually does finish up the sword. It takes him about like 10 or 15 minutes if you want to do anything during that time. But after he is done, you pick up the sword and take it back. Is this the right one? No. This is... Shink.
And then I let him finish up with the helmet as well. Then I do the same.
Mm-hmm. And again, as you see, the sword, the handle was like made out of pure gold, and the hilt or the blade itself is pure platinum. Similar make of the helmet, with most of it being made out of platinum, with like the trim being made out of gold.
Mm-hmm.
And again, Clatter goes about his stuff, and you can see the elf kind of like wanders over, still out of reach, not bugging Clutter, but
To not disrupt anything.
Yeah.
That he wore.
Okay.
Because obviously we have the helmet and the sword, but I'm sure he also wore armor, especially with a helmet like this.
And the elf speaks up for the first time and goes, "Oh well, I'm not a history buff myself. I am just here for a little bit of protection. I'm normally just the chef of the house, but." And kind of looks over to Ellis, and Ellis kind of nods and speaks up. The rest of the armor seems to have been lost to time. We are doing our due diligence and researching where it could be, but as of yet, the set that we know of is the sword and helmet. And if you ever do come across any information on any armor, boots, or any other of Jorg's relics, we would pay quite handily for that information.
Oh, of course. I'm just more so talking about general knowledge of maybe the design, so when we're doing these replicas, we can also get his armor.
Of course. It is very similar to this. Design-wise, somewhat basic, but material-wise, it is made out of platinum and gold, and kind of goes through describing it. It's pretty much just like it's a full plate, but not any like intricate details. Just looks to be fashioned for battle, but made out of like the best materials possible.
Mm-hmm. After he tells me this, and when Clatter finishes up with the helmet, I'm gonna have Clatter attempt to like sketch out, based off of that description, what the armor would look like.
Okay. Yeah.
And after he does, I'm gonna show it to him and be like, "Is it similar to this?"
And I'll have Clatter roll that. He kind of like goes back, and they go back and forth a little bit, like, oh, I would change this, and discuss a bit further. But eventually he's like, yes, I believe that would be very, very similar.
Okay, perfect. Then we will do our best to create accurate and an accurate representation of this armor as well. We want this to feel as authentic as possible.
Yes, and I'm sure the master will be very pleased.
Any notes that you would like to tell us about anything? Any features we should not leave behind? Maybe accessories that he is known to carry?
You see he thinks for quite some time. And let me pull up.
Yeah, he actually had these wraps on his hand that would turn into snakes. I'm like, oh. Oh, did he now?
Yeah. Yes. If you are doing the somewhat history behind Jorg and not his time as a god, I believe he would be wearing an amulet of Amontour.
That shouldn't be too difficult for us to get.
Yes, I don't believe it was as flashy as the rest of the armor. It's just something that would be kind of a keystone.
Of course. Anything else that you can think of?
No, I believe that would cover Jorg. There's not a lot of information on what he looked like before, but I believe that would cover it.
Perfect. All right, Clatter, you can gather up your things and we can get to work.
And he nods and puts the helmet back onto the display. And then he like rolls up all his parchments that he just drew out into like tightly bundles and puts them underneath his cloak. Kind of like turns around, gives like an awkward like slight bow as he starts like stepping towards the door.
He curtsies. And then I thank them, ask them if there's anything else that they would like to tell me, anything that they need for aid.
If you could arrive sometime before the play will be put on, just so we can get set up and make sure that you have everything that you need.
Oh, of course. I do believe both our owl friend and I will be helping out with all of those, and we will make sure that we're here plenty of time beforehand. Make sure it's set up in place.
Then great. Yes. And if there's nothing else, I will show you to the door. And he goes ahead and opens up the heavy door, and lets you guys take your leave after picking up your weapons and stuff.
Oh, yeah. And then after we've left and we're a little ways away from the house, I'm going to start talking to Clatter.
Okay.
I'm going to ask him if he noticed anything about the weapons and armor, any kind of properties.
Yes. While you were distracting the elven gentleman in there, I did run a identification over the said sword. I was not able to get the helmet, but it did not seem anything extremely special. Definitely had some magical properties, but the sword seemed more important.
Of course.
And it is definitely the real deal. And I believe I will be able to craft quite the replica.
What were the properties of the...
The sword backlash. I believe it was backlash. Yeah. It allows the user to make. I'm just gonna say is I don't know how to say this in character, but when someone makes an attack that hits you, if they're within your reach, you can make an attack on them.
Okay. So the sword kind of like has its own intuition, and if somebody hits you, it'll slash back at them.
Yeah.
All right, sweet. That's cool.
Yeah. It's also just very fucking expensive.
Yeah. And then we just continue talking about the materials and the pricing and the fact that the armor doesn't matter nearly as much, so that one doesn't have to be as perfected as we want the sword to be. We still want it to be, as close to near indistinguishable, but it doesn't need to be at the level that we need the sword.
Yes. I will have that ready. I will get some things ready tonight, but I will probably have that ready, say 2 days for the swords and 1 more day for the armor.
Okay, and then just let me know how much really much.
Yes, I will. I will, and kind of does calculations in his head. For the armor, I believe I can make that not exact armor, but very, very close, for 50 gold. And then
Gonna set for both sets?
For both sets, yes.
Okay.
And then for the sword, I can make the cheaper one for 10 gold. And then the more expensive one, if you would like it to be completely authentic, I can make it for 500 gold. Or the leaf version, I can make it for another, I'd say, 50 gold pieces.
Okay. Then get to work on the armor to begin with. If you meet us at our residence, our storefront, I can get you the gold for the materials by tomorrow.
Okay, I will get started then.
And then I thank him and I part ways at this stable place.
Okay.
I'm heading to
the den.
The den. I was like, I know it's called something.
Okay. Are you just using that as a tunnel, or are you actually doing
I'm
anything?
going to the den.
Okay.
I would have entered in from this side.
Oh, right, yeah.
But I'm heading directly to One Arm.
Okay.
Oh, One Arm Gerald. You gotta say it in like Leroy Jenkins' voice.
Oh, One Arm Gerald.
Blanche. What brings you in tonight? And you can tell, like, it kind of leaves you wondering, like, when does this guy not work?
Yeah, like, does he ever sleep?
But kind of brushes past that. What can I do for you tonight?
I lean up on the table or the counter, And I'm like, so you know that job we're working on?
Sorry, what was that?
I'm like, so you know that job we're working
Yes.
on? There's been some advancements made in this job. And I'm curious if I can take a loan out.
You see his face goes from kind of like a jovial, happy kind of like, yeah, what's going on, to almost like a smug smile creeps across his face as he leans over the desk, getting like closer to your face and says, I could believe something could be arranged.
I have the opportunity to acquire a very, very lucrative piece of equipment. But to do so, it's going to cost quite a... And I tell him 600 gold pieces. Obviously, that's not that much, but it's a lot to just hand to someone.
Yeah, he thinks about it and says, yes. I believe your team has proven themselves, but I would like to know more about this so-called item. It's worth so much.
And I just tell him Jorg's helmet.
Jorg's helmet? You kind of like, you can see him thinking, and he turns away, but you do catch like a bit of a smile as he's looking elsewhere. He says, yes, one of 2 relics. I believe that would...
Look at you deceiving Gerald. Don't like that.
He turns back to you and says, yes, if you can get this for us, I will gladly hand over the 600, but... and he looks at you. We will require payment if this item is not brought in.
Oh, of course.
And he goes in the back, and after like a minute or so comes back out with like a huge sack of gold, plops it down.
I thought you were going to be like a huge sack and a sack of gold.
And
I feel like Gerald would be hanged. Watching this guy.
As you open up,
that's his tail.
Yeah.
It's the short, scrappy ones.
You open up the bag and it's has both gold and platinum inside.
Mm-hmm. And just to confirm some things with him, I talk about time frame for us to pay this back. You know, get the actual like agreement down.
Yes. I believe these sort of things aren't necessarily on a time frame, but if you do take too long, let's say a couple weeks out, and if we don't hear back from you, we'll be reaching out.
No, don't worry, I'm not going anywhere.
Reaching out to your kneecaps.
But your group has been trusted, so I will trust you as well.
And I grab his sack and thank him and tell him to have a wonderful night.
All right.
And with his sack in hand, I leave out of the tunnel this way to the edge.
Okay.
Not wanting to be wandering around town with Gerald's sack.
All right. It's probably good.
It's only polite, really.
Right. I don't want his business to be known.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
And then I just head directly back to the house.
Right. Back at the house, Asher and Whoville, you would have quite some time before Blanche gets back if you wanted to do anything. That being said, it is nighttime.
It's
I'm
nighttime.
I'm like laying up in upside down in bed writing, trying to get like the screenplay together. Because I don't trust Grief to finish it all on his own. And then I'm like, I look over, expecting to see Clatter, so I could be like, what about... Oh, man, he's not here. Just, like, go back to scribbling. This brings me back to my dorm days. I'm, like, practicing the lines I'm writing down out loud to myself.
Cool. So yeah, as you're doing that, Whoville, you've gotten your traps on the doors. Is there anything else you'd like to do before Blanche gets back?
Well, if I take one of my ethereal arrows from my bow
Mm-hmm.
and put a little poison on it, does it like stay poisoned? Like, or does it poison fall through, or how does the arrows work like that?
Yeah. How do you
it's-
do poison?
It's a little
And if it's going
strange.
through a wall or whatever, is the poison gonna stay on, or like just stick to the wall going through?
It's a little strange because the arrow appears as you like pull back the bow, so you would have to apply it as you're shooting it, but it's magic, so I'll say it works.
Cool.
And it would just work as normal, but also have poison on it.
Okie doke. Nah, that's all I got.
What? If I see Whoville, do you come upstairs, Whoville?
Well, I've been upstairs.
Yeah, he would have to be
Probably.
upstairs to be at his like workstation.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Okay.
I'll
I
probably
point at him across the room. You tell those kids? You. Okay. Thumbs up. And I go back to, like, scribbling down in my journal.
Oh, I know what I'm gonna do. I grabbed the bear trap that I have
Mm-hmm.
and go back down and let's see here. Should I put it in front of the door? Or in front of... Yeah, in front of the door. Like right beneath this square
Okay.
I'm standing on. Is it like just board to like earth or stone, or is there something underneath?
Do we have a crawl space?
Kinda.
It is board to stone, but there is a slight leeway, as you guys did have the other floorboard safe area. So there's like a foot or two between the board and the stone.
Is it enough to put my bear trap down underneath it?
Sure.
Alright, I'll put my bear trap underneath it and try to rig it so either the wood break or... No, I kind of have to do wood breaks. Makes some mechanism where we push something and it like doesn't fall or something. Does that make sense?
Where you push something and it doesn't fall?
Well, like, let's see, how do I do this?
Are you just trying to make it like a hidden bear trap? That when
Yeah,
they step
kinda.
on the wood, it snaps?
Yeah, but I don't want to. I mean, this is our main like doorway that we use, so I don't want like some random guests that we actually like come in and step in a random bear trap.
Okay. Roll a dexterity check with proficiency to see how well you can create this contraption.
Oh shit! That's a 7.
Alright.
All right.
Do I get randomly bear trap?
I'm rolling.
Okay.
So you're going through this, and as you're fiddling with this, you're like, oh, I can make it like way more sensitive if you do this. And as you say that, both of your arms are like inside the bear trap as it snaps closed. And you take 10 points of piercing damage.
Your arm. It's caught in a
As
bear trap.
as both your arms are like impaled by the spikes on either end of the bear trap.
Actual cannibal Shia LaBeouf.
Alright, well, I'm gonna extricate myself from it and do it again.
Okay. And Asher, just so you know, from like downstairs, you hear, "Kerchunk! Ah!"
I look up for a moment, go back to my reading. Pretty standard.
Actual cannibal.
Actual cannibal. No, I'm. I just kind of like peer up, and I'm like, yeah, that's probably fine.
Every time somebody's talking about a bear trap, I think of that.
But yeah, go ahead and roll again.
Yeah, 21.
All right. So
You
yeah,
just
this
needed some adrenaline pumping.
this time, you get the bear trap going, and the mechanism that you create to get this to work when you want it to work and not work when you don't want it to work is you remove the floorboard around the area, and then you get like a thinner but still like similar wood to the floorboard that when stepped upon it bends slightly, so it will push into the bear trap. So you can just replace this board whenever you guys want it to activate.
Okay.
Oh, cool. Alright, well, that's all my stuff.
Okay. Are you leaving it active or inactive?
Active.
Okay. Alright. So while you guys are doing that, Blanche, you arrive back home.
Mm-hmm.
Alright. As you walk in, I'd like you to make a dexterity saving throw.
Wow, this is a terrible idea.
Be hilarious. I don't know what you're talking about.
That's a 9.
Alright. As you walk in, the floorboard slightly depresses, and you hear this kerchunk as a bear trap flashes up through the floor. You take 7 points of piercing damage as this bear trap clamps down on one of your legs.
I don't even make a noise.
You can see Whoville kind of like at the top of the stairs.
Yeah, he comes down and is now like looking at the trap, looking at the leg. Modifications, a little tinkering here.
Yeah.
Overall, pretty good though.
I'm going to pull him down the stairs with
Okay.
my reps.
Head into bear trap.
So I like swing out with my rep and I like try to attempt to grapple him and pull him down.
Yep. So it would be whatever your attack roll to hit, and then a grapple contested between you two.
That's a 19 to hit.
I believe that.
Yeah.
So then contested either
Athletics or acrobatics.
Yeah, acrobatics or athletics for both of you.
19.
Uh. $24 or 25.
All right. So yeah, you reach out, you grab around him, and you pull. And as you pull yourself loose of the bear trap, or it comes with you, as you kind of like pull yourself closer to the stairs.
And I'm like, get this thing off me before I stab you in the neck.
All right. Go over and release him, and then
Okay.
reset the trap.
Okay.
I limp my way upstairs.
All right. As you put it back, do you set it active or inactive?
Active.
Okay.
And I tell people this time.
Okay.
I go to bed.
So, do either of you, Whoville or Asher, do anything else with the night?
Negative.
Nope.
Okay. So yeah, you guys definitely get a full night's rest. Waking up to the morning songbirds.
Levi, shut up!
Wait, an owl is not a songbird, you dumb.
Oh, speaking of birds, me and Paisley saw a hawk sitting on the back of someone's car.
Like a
Dang.
whole ass fucking predatory bird. It was
Like,
it
just-
was huge.
Just like
God,
a block away from our house.
that fucker was like 2 feet long. Like he was tall.
Damn.
Just sitting on top of like I don't know, it was like one of those mom sports cars. It was like bright red. Yeah, it was cool.
Captured it and then
soccer
tamed
mom cars?
it, and now you
Yeah,
have a
that.
shoulder hawk.
Yeah, now we're just like into falconry.
Yeah.
You know, because you can just be
I should
like
get a
into
falcon.
that overnight. He would eat your hedgie. Your hedgehog would be toast.
Nah, King would eat him.
It would spike him. Yeah, that's fair.
Anyway. What are you guys up to today?
I'm waiting for for Clatter.
Oh, okay.
I'm rubbing my ankle.
We could go bug clatter.
He's coming here.
Oh. Sweet.
Alright, so a little into the morning, you hear a knock at the door.
I open the other door.
Okay.
This one.
I'm coming too.
And you can see Clatter is kind of like standing there, looking around at his surroundings as you open up the door.
And I bring him in, close the door behind him.
Clatter, we have a whole shop now.
Pull out a big ol' stack.
He's looking around.
I
He's just,
also remove the gold.
all right. He's looking around and just says, "Ah, yes. This is a good store."
Yeah, good store. The
Uh,
storiest.
you put the sack of gold and platinum down.
This place will be historical.
Whoa.
Uh,
Nice.
my thing.
Puns are everybody's thing, Kyle.
If you suck enough.
Hey, puns are the height of comedy, alright?
I don't know. I don't know about that. They're always like a little cringy.
Exactly.
If you like that kind of thing. Yeah.
That's why you know that they're the height of comedy. Just the right amount of cringe.
Anyway, Clatter.
We will debate this more later.
Put a
Clatter
pin in
looks
that
through.
one, and let's move on.
He looks through the gold and platinum and nods his head. So you want me to make the highest of material swords?
Yes.
All right. Nods and
And I say, and the rest is for you if you can complete it on time.
I kind of look to Blanche, like the highest of materials, but I'll get more out of him later, I guess. I just kind of shoot him a look like, what?
Yeah, I just give her a curt little like nod, like acknowledgement that she's curious, but not answering the question.
Yeah.
and after he says, Terrific. He kind of like turns around, just starts walking away.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just let him go, close the door behind him, and then I update Asher. I'm like,
Yeah,
so
what's that about?
while we were heading over there, Clutter and I were talking about materials, costs, and
Hmm.
such. Then after we left, I got a more in-depth price range that he was looking for.
Oh.
The armor, it doesn't really matter. He doesn't carry around the armor, so it shouldn't come up. So we're having that
Just be like a
close
replica. Yeah. Okay.
The sword, we're going to have two made. One being the one we will use in the play. It is going to be a good replica. First glance, you won't see any difference. If somebody were to examine it, they'd be able to tell.
Mm-hmm.
The second, we are making out of the actual material. The only difference is it won't have the property that Backlash has.
Mm. Okay.
So if somebody were to take a look at it, in every way besides that, it is identical.
Beautiful. I nod kind of approvingly. My mind wanders to Kethrand. I know he keeps the sword at his side. I hope there will be a time that he doesn't try and use its ability. And then
I also
something
give
bad
Asher an
happens
update
to him.
of what the ability actually is.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah,
And then
so
I also talked to her about the amulet.
The amulet.
Because the religious amulet that he wore.
Oh.
yeah, and as soon as you mention it, Asher, you're like, oh yeah, I know about that.
Mhm.
He wore an amulet of his god, if I can find it, on tour, who's the deity of order, sun, law, and time.
Was
Was.
the deity. Fucking loser.
Get good, will you?
So yeah, you're like, oh yeah, I know exactly what that looks like.
Right, yeah.
Do you know if you have a necklace like that you can use for the play? Maybe at the
Conjuring DM knowledge. What shape does it take? It's like the
It's just like a sun, with like it's a circle, and then the like sun flares are kind of like pointed, like you would see at the top of iron fences, where they have like that arrow kind of shape to them.
I think back to plays I've held with grief. Does anything sort of suit this bill? Maybe one we did of another historical piece, like speaking of like the Feywilds or any other gods?
You probably wouldn't have an amulet of Amantur as like the worshipping of the forgotten gods is like forbidden. So you probably wouldn't have just like a relic. But it wouldn't be too difficult to make.
Okay. I'm like, not that I can think of, Blanche. I'll have to get one of kind of a similar shape. But that will be my project today.
yes, if you can acquire this amulet, that would help sell his pre-ascendance.
Yeah. Okay, and that's the whole objective of the play is like the before he takes on everybody. Origin story time. Yeah. But okay. That's what I'll be up to.
All right.
Who do I know who makes jewelry?
Give me a history check.
It's a +2, so just a 10.
Okay. Trying trying to think if I gave them names. I believe so. Yes. You don't know anyone who makes like actual jewelry. You know there's a couple stalls in the trading district that has jewelry, but you don't know if you don't think that they make the jewelry themselves.
I have to like rummage around and find one that's kind of similar looking.
Yeah. Or if you wanted to, you know that Bemos, the halfling that you do theater with, is usually the prop guy.
Okay, yeah.
So you
So it doesn't
probably
have to be like real jewelry.
Yeah,
I could just buy.
it wouldn't be real, but he could probably make it so that it looks real from afar.
Okay, good enough for me. It's all like a play. People aren't going to be checking out up close, so we should be good with that. Like theater jewelry.
Okay.
Cool. Yeah. With that said, I will be like, okay, this is my mission. I am out to go do it. What else do we need done today? Also, quick, what's our time frame? How many days until the first?
It is the 25th, so you have today, the 26th, 27th, 28th, and then it's the 1st. So
Okay.
5 days.
We have time. Yeah.
the 5th day will be the play.
Okay. And then after the play, we delve immediately into Catherine's. Because his was sometime next month?
His was mid next month.
Okay. Gotcha.
I think he said the 10th.
Cool. Okay. Yeah. Anything else that you can think of, Blanche, while I'm out and about?
No, I think we are pretty much prepared. There's one thing I need to pick up.
Oh? Well, all right then. We will reconvene later.
I go
Where's
with her because I'm going to be heading towards that direction as well, and I'm looking for a bag of holding.
Oh. As we're kind of walking, you're looking for a bag of holding. Is that what like the delivery is? What are you picking up?
Picking up a bag of holding.
Oh, nice. Okay, I say good luck with that.
I
And
need
you,
a
like-
way. I need a way to hide the replica and the real one.
Good thinking. Yeah.
Oh, I don't think we're gonna be able to afford one.
How much is it?
Way more than we have. Never mind.
I got $250.
Time's up by 10.
Whoa!
Uh,
No.
technically,
What the hell?
There's different bags of holding.
Yeah, that one might have just been one of the expensive ones.
Yeah.
Nope.
Bag of holding is uncommon, which is usually between 1 and 500 gold.
Oh, okay.
For
Yeah,
like
I'll
the
look-
basic bag of holding.
Yeah,
That
I'll
can
look for like the basic.
that can vary based on stock and availability.
Okay, yeah.
Do you need some gold?
No, I'm gonna take some out of the store. Stock.
Okay. Yeah, it is a mission, so it would make sense to do so.
Yeah, so I take some money out of the our stockpile, and I go out looking to see if I can find just the base tier bag of holding.
Okay.
Meanwhile, I'm off to talk to one of my theater friends. I'm gonna step away real quick, okay?
Okay. And then, Whoville, are you doing anything?
Nope. I'm just sitting at. I think I have like a workbench to work on, right?
You have like a work area.
Work area.
I'll say you can probably get a table up there eventually with some gold.
Yeah, I'll do that later. And I have more gold. Then I'm just gonna be tinkering. Like literally, there's no plan. Like I have the leftover parts from the door.
Okay.
The
Is there anything that you want to make, arrow wise or trap wise during that time, or just playing around tinkering?
I don't think we were discussed specifically what the door trap did. Like, is it like a blade
Yeah.
that just comes out?
Depending on how you rolled, putting it in determines how hard of a DC it was to disarm it. That being said, if someone tries to pick the lock without even checking for traps, it will just go off. But if they do check for traps, then that DC is set on how well you rolled. And when they go to pick the lock, a like small needle is kind of like set back, so when they release one of the pins, it just kind of like flings out and hits their hand.
Oh, okay. Is it possible to make an arrow that uses the spring-loaded like needle thing, and on contact it will shoot out a few needles in an area?
Yeah, you
I don't
can
know
start working
how
on that.
would be like an arrow. Yeah. How to do that then?
Dope. Do you want to give me a Tinkerer Tools check? So, dexterity plus proficiency.
Sure. That's a. Oh shit. That's 12. There we go.
Well, okay. Yeah. So you take the day, and you're tinkering. It does take a little bit longer than you were hoping, but you get the basis for kind of like an arrow when it hits will kind of like not claymore, but like shoot out some needles. So I'll work out the specifics with you later, but
Yeah.
for now you kind of have like the beginnings of an arrow. Maybe not like working right now, but with like very small tweaking you can get that working.
Cool.
Dope. And then Blanche, you and Asher go towards the social district, and then you veer off once you get there to go to probably the trader district to talk to your magic salesman guy.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't think it's going to be a long visit, but I will pull you over there. That will be 2, 3, 4 copper for you.
Okay.
But as you approach, you see the familiar orange-white stall of Arnak. And inside you see him kind of like leaned over the table. He has like these huge goggles pulled over as he seems to be like working on a magic item. You can see like small little like motes of like runic magic kind of floating off of the item as he is waving his hands over it as he runs kind of like a metal fork over the length of it.
Okay. I kind of just like walk in there, see him work, and I just like lean up against like one of the poles. I just wait.
Okay. Yeah, and he doesn't seem to recognize you for a while. But as he's working, at one point he does look up slightly and sees you. And let me put this away. And kind of like flicks the fork, and you see the runes kind of like disperse slightly, and the item being like a kind of like a short sword, kind of hum with a little bit of like blue glow, and then settle down into what looks to be a regular sword, and he puts it down under the table. Welcome in, Blanche. Let's what brings you into my store?
I am looking for a bag of holding.
Ha! Easy enough. And goes back, and you can see like he has a few like just large sacks next to a couple rugs, and he kind of like pushes the rugs off and picks up the burlap sack, places it down on the table, and starts putting like some bags on the counter, and says, were you looking for more of a satchel type that goes over the shoulder? As he puts one down, it's like a one strapped satchel, or more of like a backpack. Puts down a backpack, and it's just like a very nice leather backpack.
I just sell him the most easily concealable one that can hold the size of at least the size of a sword.
Yes, these all should easily be able to hold a sword, plus much more. But if you're looking for concealment, maybe the satchel would be good underneath your cloak there. You might be able to hide it behind you a little bit.
Sounds good.
Terrific. Easy enough, and kind of like puts the rest of them back. Slides that across, and says, and for pricing, that would be 423 gold pieces.
423 for your friends?
Make a persuasion check.
Dude. Yep, okay, 423.
Unfortunately, this is business. I do like you, and maybe in the future, if you buy more, I will definitely be willing to give you a little bit of a discount, but as of right now, this is the price for this one.
Understandable. I can't ask you to lose out on money just for my sake. And I give him 423 gold.
Alright. I also noticed that I gave him the wrong voice, but whatever. Yes. Well, I hope this helps out with your adventuring. Obviously, you're being an adventurer, going out saving people, helping people. None of my business what you do with my wares. And hope that helps. As he's collecting the gold and slides the item across to you.
Mm-hmm. I take it, I throw it over my shoulder and tuck it back behind my cloak.
Okay. Yeah, and it's very easily concealed.
Okay. And I thank him, and I head back.
Alright.
Yep, I just head back.
Okay.
2 copper to go back.
Yep. And then while you're heading back, Paisley, are you back?
I am back.
Dope. You were heading over to the theater to talk to Bemos?
Correct. Yeah. I want to give him the description of the necklace you just told me.
Okay. I'll just put you in the back rooms. Okay. As you walk up, you can see that they're at a small break, so there's no play going on right now. But as you walk into the back, you can see Grief is giving his spiel to the group, kind of like his midday, like, all right, you guys are doing great. Everyone's doing awesome. Keep up the good work. And you can see Bemos and Pinkston, the Furbolg, are both kind of at these mirrors, applying makeup for their next skit.
Okay. I approach. I approach and I'm like, "Hello, Bemos. I have a piece of jewelry I need made."
Ah, hello, Asher.
Yes, it is for our very important showing, and I'm like kind of describing. I'm like sun flare with like a little bit of this and a little bit of. Here's what I need. Costume jewelry.
He's like, well, yeah, easy enough.
Hey.
Kind of pulls out a drawer, and you can see there's like some different jewelry in there, and he pulls out what looks to be kind of like just a large disc.
Okay.
No detail with it whatsoever, but it's attached to like kind of like a silken thread. And he goes in the back, and you can see he has like a tool that he starts like bending back pieces as you're describing it. And like by the time you're done describing it, he has a pretty like rough like visual of it already made, and then he takes like an extra like 5 or 10 minutes afterwards to get some detail going on it.
Beautiful. Okay. This is exactly what I'm looking for. Yeah, I'm like maybe this peak a little bit pointier and whatnot. And we're kind of like going through it until I'm satisfied that it's pretty close to what I would have imagined or what I would have seen in like references.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And as he places it down, he's kind of just like, yeah, anything that you need, I can make simple things like this super easy. Pretty amazing that way.
I shake his shoulder. I can always count on you, Bumos. And then I'm like, yeah. And I snatch it off his desk and I'm like, thank you, bye. Go back to the house.
Yeah, and as you leave, he's just like, well, Asher, I was thinking maybe after the play, maybe you and me, we go on for dinner.
Oh. Yes. Finger guns. And then I leave. Bye!
Yes!
I'm going to forget about that immediately. Okay. So this is a pretty good necklace of what I'm looking at. It's looking pretty close to what I would have pictured.
Yeah, it's pretty damn close.
Okay. I don't have to paint it or anything too?
No, it already had kind of like a gold sheen to it. It's definitely not like gold, but it looks the part.
Okay. Sweet. That is exactly what I'm hoping for. Okay. I marched back to the house feeling pretty good with my win here.
All right.
How much did it cost to get here again?
From the Ash District, 2 copper, and then 2 copper to get back.
Okay. 4 copper minus in it. I need to make more change.
Dang, it's weird how like, it's
Everything...
hard to get change when you guys are doing all these platinum missions.
What platinum? I only have gold. Squint. Squints at DM.
And then Blanche. I need to stop being in tab when I put you guys down.
Because we invisible.
Yeah. So yeah, you guys eventually make your way back, and you're back at the house. You see Whoville kind of like mid tinkering. You see he has like kind of an arrow with what looks to be kind of a ball on the end that has multiple spikes just kind of barely peeking out of the ball.
I
Okay.
instantly go to my table and I start just like hastily scribbling through like finances.
I approach Blanche with my necklace. I hold it up. Check this out.
I put down my quill, look up. It's perfect.
Yay! Okay. I stuff it into my backpack. Nice. Feeling good about how I spent my day, I go fishing for a bit, I guess. Because this is my new hobby.
Okay. Make a dexterity saving throw.
No! What?
Our rolls have been awful.
My dexterity, it's a +6. Wait, no, that's my fucking stealth. +3. So 7.
Okay. You take 9 points of piercing damage as you walk through the door.
Wow!
Uh,
That's a lot of health for me.
I did tell you it was there.
Oh, jeez, that doesn't make it any easier. I still gotta use that door. I guess I don't have to.
Well, no, you just step around it.
I
but
pry it off of my leg, I guess.
yeah, eventually you can get it pried off, and I'm assuming you don't reset it.
No, I do not reset it. I toss it against the wall if I can.
I'd promptly go downstairs and reset it, and just look at Asher with like a look of contempt. Like, seriously, I told you this thing was here and you still stepped on it?
I do that.
I follow downstairs as he's resetting it, and I say, while we're in the house, don't leave it active.
I squint at him and I go back fishing. Off I go.
Okay. Where do you want to go fishing?
Back to the place where the fella is. What district was that? The boat district?
Port district.
Oh, Port
Port
District.
Yeah.
Okay. 1, 2, 3. It'd be 4 copper to get there.
Oof.
But while you're doing that, while we're here, Blanche and Whoville, are you guys doing anything?
Negative.
Nope.
Okay.
I think I have everything prepped that I need to before the actual showing.
All right.
So I think I am good until Clutter finishes up his stuff.
Sweet. So let's see. I said 3 days. So... Okay. So yeah, he did tell you 3 days. He told you 1 day for the armor and 2 days for the swords. So you're expecting him to come by sometime later tonight.
Yeah, that's fine.
Asher, roll a dexterity check.
What?
This is for your fishing.
Oh, okay. It's like, no, more traps? No! 6.
Okay.
I feel like every other time I fucking killed it on fishing, and now it's like,
Yeah. So you get to the port district and you spend the remainder of the day just kind of relaxing fishing. You're not really catching much, but an older gentleman kind of comes around and starts talking to you and kind of distracts you from the fishing. And you guys strike up a conversation about like how like the port district used to be all this great stuff, and then he like was talking about how the Dragon Trading Company kind of taking over some of the port district, making it a more busy area, makes fishing a lot harder.
huh, yeah. Okay. We're just kind of chatting back and forth. It's a
Hmm.
good thing those guys were taken down a notch, huh? I don't know what happened with all that, but it was pretty noisy over here for a while in the port district.
Kind of gets back to me. He's like, yeah, I heard even after that they were hit by another attack a couple days later. Really took him down a peg. Seems like everyone's trying to get in their sucker punch while they're down.
Yeah, us small guys gotta do what we can, huh? Now's our time. Let's catch all of the fish and show 'em what's what. I say, casting my reel again, triumphantly.
So throughout the day, I'll say you catch 2 fish.
Okay, good enough. Adding 2 fish. I gotta add this as like a favorited thing or something because it's so annoying. I have to create like a special item each time.
But later in the day, I'm assuming you get home before sunset.
Yeah.
But later in the day, you guys hear a knock at the door.
Okay. I peer around at my companions. Who's expecting somebody? Anybody? No? I start to kind of wield my dagger a little bit.
Are you guys?
I guess I walk down there.
I'm sorry, I missed what you said.
Later at night, you hear a knock at the door.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I missed that. Yeah, I go downstairs.
Okay.
I too am. I'm gonna walk down there, kind of like, huh? Wonder who that could be. Following behind Blanche, like I'm curious, but also not trying to confront anybody as I'm down 9 points of health.
As you open the door, you can see Clatter standing there with what you assume is 2 sets of armor, but cloaked with large pieces of cloth.
So it's just 2 mummies on sticks.
Yeah.
Clatter! I extend my arms, dagger in hand, like, oh shit, and then I like tuck that away real fast.
Hello. And kind of like pushes past you guys to go inside.
I go in and bring the armor in.
Okay. And as you close the door behind him, he kind of like does a flashy reveal of 2 finely polished, shiny metallic armor. Upon closer inspection, it is painted to look like platinum and gold. They like are not platinum and gold, but if you want to roll an insight,
I do.
yeah, or investigation, I guess. Insight's more for
Can
people.
Can I as well?
9.
My insight is a +7. Did you say it's actually an investigation though?
Insight or investigation.
Nice. I'm gonna go with that then. Yeah, 18.
Okay. Yeah. Asher, you can like kind of pick out like, you know, maybe there's a couple spots that's not perfect, but it's like, unless you were really fucking looking for it, it's perfect. And Blanche, to you, it's just perfect,
Okay.
indistinguishable.
Perfect. Exactly what we were asking for.
Mhm. I rub my thumb over some spots I see, but I'm like, this looks really good. I think it'll be perfect for the performance.
Yes. And it's kind of like, good night.
Oh,
What's
Clutter.
the time frame for the swords?
Started, finished, day after tomorrow.
Perfect.
Okay.
That leaves
Okay.
us with 2 days.
Yes. Shouldn't be all day, last day, so 1.5 days.
Okay, perfect.
Nice.
Good.
All right.
Wow.
All right.
And-
Then, with that, I move these off to the side, back behind the counter, so they're just not sitting out here.
Mm-hmm.
And then I put one of the helmets in the bag of holding.
Okay. Alright, then I will just remember that, because I can't separate the armor from the helmets.
Yeah, it's fine. I'm gonna add it into the bag of holding.
Okay.
Cool. You did get a bag of holding.
Yes.
I drape my amulet over one of the armor stands.
Okay. Sweet.
Yeah, all the pieces are coming together. Mm-hmm. With that, I think it's about to call it a night.
Yes.
You guys get another full night's rest. Asher, you can regain those hit points. Blanche, I
Thank
believe you
you.
also took some in the morning.
That was previous.
That was previous? Okay. Oh yeah, it was right before you went to bed.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it is the 26th. You guys know that there's 28 days. So you have 3 days left of this month, and then the 1st, which is the day that you're doing the play.
Yeah. It's also the same day property tax.
It's also the same day property taxes are on.
Blanche is like, more importantly, the day of property taxes.
And then Clutter told you guys that he would have it on the 27th.
Ah. Okay.
So you guys do have this day kind of like free if you guys want to do anything.
Okay.
Hmm.
Don't know if you've checked the time recently, Kyle.
Yeah, if you guys want to call it here, we can pick up this with the next session if you guys want to
Hopefully
do.
we're able to actually get into the mission itself next session, because
Yeah.
I think we're done with all of the prep work.
Okay, yeah, if you guys are done with all the prep work, then we will call it here.
We'll have one day of like do whatever else we need to do, or like free
Finalize
pass,
any-
Yeah,
and then
finalize
it's
anything
like
else.
jumping
over
right
this
in.
next week, you guys think about if there's any last minute checks that you want to do, and I think next time we'll start with a bit of a time skip over the next couple of days, and
While we're
we will.
waiting for everything to finish up and the day to approach.
All right.
All right, that sounds good.
Awesome. Thank you everyone for joining us. and we will see you bitches later.
See you
Bye.
bitches next time.
Bye.